Hello friends, how are you all? My name is Saket and I'm your chemistry explainer. Today we are going to learn about matter. It matters a lot, right? A presentation of our matter in our surroundings. As we look at our surroundings, we see a large variety of things with a different shapes, sizes, and textures. Everything in this universe is made up of material which scientists have named matter. The air we breathe, the food we eat, stones, clouds, stars, plants, and animals, even a small drop of water or a particle of sand, everything is matter. We can also see as we look around that all things mentioned above occupy space and have mass. In other words, they have both mass and volume. Since earlier times, human beings have been trying to understand their surroundings. Early Indian philosophers classified matter in the form of five basic elements, which he called them Panchatattva: air, earth, fire, sky, and water. According to them, everything living or non living was made up of these five basic elements. Ancient Greek philosophers had arrived at a similar classifications of matter. Modern day scientists have evolved two types of classifications of matter based on their physical properties and chemical nature. In this chapter, we will learn about matter based on physical properties, chemical aspects of matter will be taken in subsequent chapters. So, what is matter actually? Everything in the universe is made up of a matter up of a material called matter. So matter is anything that occupies space and can be felt by our five senses, right? Like water, air, earth. Earth represents the greenery and the trees are present in on the earth, and the sunlight, etc. Sunlight represents fire. Sun is also a fire, right? So matter is anything that have mass and occupies space and can be felt by our five senses. Some examples of matter: books, water, oxygen, and even we are humans. All matter is the same because all matter is made up of atoms. Matter is also different because objects can be made up of different kinds of atoms. Gold is made up of a kind of atom, gold atoms. Salt is made up of two different kinds of atoms, sodium atom and chloride atom. So, if we try to know in a deeper, so we have to know what are the physical natures of matter. If you- As you, which is as you as which is given in a term book, there are two types in physical nature of matter, right? Mm. First one, matter is made up of particles. So I would be like to express an or tell you an one story on this. For a long time, two schools of thought prevailed regarding the nature of matter. One school believed matter to be continuous like a block of wood, whereas the other thought the matter was made up of particles like sand. Let us perform an activity to decide about the nature of matter in its continuous or particulate. So, the activity is take 100 milliliters of beaker and fill half of the beaker with the water and mark the level of water. Dissolve some salt or sugar with the help of glass rod. Observe any change in the water level. What do you think had happened to the salt? Where does it disappear? Does the level of the water change? In order to answer these questions, we need to use the idea of matter is made up of particles. What was there in the spoon or salt or sugar? Has no spreader throughout the water. This illustrated in the figure which is given below in the PowerPoint presentation. So, when we dissolve the salt in the water, the particles of the salt get into the spaces between the particles of water. So there are tiny spaces between the water. When you dissolve the salt, this dissolved salt will be divided into another small particles and go and fix into the particles and fix into the spaces between the water particles, water molecules. Okay. Now the SI unit of kilogram is I think most of them, I think all of you know, that is kilograms, and the SI unit of cubic meter is meter cube, and the common unit of measuring the volume in liters is 1 liter. Liter, such that 1 liter is equals to 1 decameters. decameter cube. 1 liter is equals to 1000 milliliters, and 1 milliliter is equals to 1 centimeter cube, right? So how small, and second one is how small they are these particles of matter. So there is another activity for this experiment. So you can also use Dettol for this. So here I am using a potassium permanganate. Mm, so I did not represent this photo. It will be same, means here you can think that you can also do this activity. Just after this video, seeing this video or listening to this video, go to your bathroom or something, not only bathroom, your balcony, take 3 to 4 or 10 to like a small cups, and take Dettol. First you take 2 drops of Dettol and keep it into one of the and pour it into one of the cup which is full of water, right? After pulling, sorry, after pouring that Dettol into that one full of cup, you fill half of the cups, another cups, means if you see, mm how can I yeah if you see, means, yes, here you can see, right? Yeah, here, this image, like this. So if you take 5 to 6 marks, first one, you have to take first full water and pour this 10 milliliters of Dettol, means 2 drops of Dettol, your wish how much you want, you can pour. After that, if you want to take if you pour 6 drops, it's very high, right? So you can just pour 2 drops. Then it seems to be very it seems to it becomes into blue color. After it becomes into blue color, it turns into blue color, you do one thing. You take 10 milliliters of cup which is used, which you have, if you have, or any big spoon which has a very means you take, it's better to take a cup, no, not teacup, okay? So take 5 milliliters to 10 milliliters and pour it into the another mugs. You can observe that the color is getting light, but at the last time also there is some color present in the last mug. So by this you can understand that estimating how small the particles of matter with every dilution of the through the color becomes light is still visible. So by this experiment, it shows that just a few crystal of potassium permanganate color a large amount can cover a large volume of water of about 1000 liters. We can conclude that there must be a millions of tiny particles in just crystals of permanganate which keep on dividing themselves into smaller and smaller particles. So the same activity can be done with using 2 ml of Dettol instead of potassium permanganate. The smell can be detected even on repeated dilution, right? So the particles of matter are very small, that they are beyond our imagination, which cannot be seen with our sometimes you cannot see these small particles with help of electron microscope. You know that about microscopes, there are 3 types of microscopes. First one is normal microscope, second one is compound microscope, and third one is electro sorry, I only forgot, sorry, electron microscope. So in these three microscope, electron microscope is very powerful, and it can also see the small things in the world. So now we'll discuss characteristics of particles, right? So characteristics of particles of matter. So what we just discussed about characteristic of particles of matter. So particles of matter have space between them. First characteristic. So for proving this, I have given examples in the pictures given below. We make a tea, coffee, or lemonade particles of one type of matter get into the spaces between the particles of other. This shows that there is enough space between the particles of matter. Very easy, right? So you will be making the coffee, tea, lemonade. So you can see that the dilution of color. How can this dilution of color occur? So by this you can understand that there is enough space between the particles of matter to get inner space of particles of matter, that we, if you dissolve anything, it just goes into the, and sits into that particles between the spaces between the particles of matter, right? So the next point is, particles of matter are continuously moving. It's a very easy experiment. I think most of you have using incense stick in your homes. So burn an incense stick in a corner of a room, and move the other corner of the same room, and go to the another or you go to the another corner of the same room. The incense stick can be smelled in the other corner too. This proves that the particles of matter are continuously moving. They possess kinetic energy. As the temperature increases, the particles of move faster. So with the increase in the temperature, the kinetic energy of particles also increases. And the third point, particles of matter attract each other. So we'll have a proof. Try breaking an iron nail and chalk and a rubber band by hammering or cutting or stretching it. The iron nail will require the greatest strength to break it, and the rubber band requires medium strength, and the chalk requires little strength. Thus, matter requires the greater strength are held together and greater force, while others are held together with a by weaker force. This proves that the particles of matter attract each other, right? That's a very easy examples to understand. Now we'll go into the states of matter. What do you mean by states of matter? What is actually state? So, if you discuss about the states of matter, observe different types of matter around you. What are the different states? I think many of you learn liquid state, solid state, gaseous state, right? Gaseous state. So we can see that the matters around you exist in the three different states: solid, liquid, and gas. These states of matter arise due to the vaporization in the characteristic of particles of matter. Now, let us study about the properties of these three states of matter in detail. First one is the solid state. So, there are actually no, yes, five types of states of matter, but we will be learning only three states of matter in our class. So the first we know about the five states of matter, that is solid, liquid, gas, plasma, and BEC. So plasma and BEC are not needed, just for extra information. If you are attempting an Olympiad exams, if they ask five states of matter, you can answer. This is only just information, extra information for attempting the outside competitions like Olympiad, etc., etc. So if you compare these three, before comparing, I want to explain. So for explaining solid state, there is no necessary, but I want to take an example to explain you. So what you do is collect the following articles: a pen, a book, a needle, and a piece of wooden stick. Sketch the shape of the above articles in your notebook by moving a pencil around them. Do all these have a definite shape, distinct boundaries, and a fixed volume? What happens if they are hammered, pulled, or dropped? Are these capable of diffusing into each other? Try compressing them, applying force. Are you able to compress it? All the above examples are solids. We can observe that all these have a definite shape, distinct boundaries, and a fixed volume. That is negligible, compressible. Compressibility: solids have a tendency to maintain their shapes when subjected to outside force. Solids may break under force, but it's difficult to change their shape, so they are rigid, right? So consider the following things, friends. What about a rubber band? Can it change its shape on stretching? Is it a solid? What about sugar and salt? When kept in the different jars, these take the shape of the jar, and are they solid? If they would be, they can also take the shape of human if it is provided, right? Mm, what about a sponge? Is it a solid, and we are able to compress it? Why? So we'll see the answers of these three three things. Okay. A rubber band changes its shape under force and regains the same shape when the force is removed. If the excessive force is applied, it breaks. The shape of each individual or sugar, salt, crystal remains fixed whether we take it in our hand, put it to a plate, or in a jar. Sponge has a minute holes in which air is trapped when we press it, and the air is expelled out, and we are able to compress it, right? So now we'll go to our liquid state. This is the state that most of them like to swim, right? Most of them like to have a fun in the water, right? In the seas, in the rivers, in the lakes, in the ponds, etc., etc., etc. So collect the following things: water, cooking oil, milk, juice, a cool drink. Containers, different shape. Containers of different shapes. Put of a 50 ml mark on these containers using a measuring cylinder from a laboratory. What will happen if these liquids are split onto the floor? Measure 50 ml of any one liquid, and transfer it into the different containers by one. Does the volume remain the same? Does the shape of the liquid remain the same? When you pour the liquid from one container to another, does it flow easily? We observe that liquids have no fixed shape, but they have fixed volume. They have take up the shape of the container in which they are kept. Liquids flow and change the shape, so they are not rigid but can be called fluid. This sounds good, right? Refer to activities 1.4 and 1.5, where we saw that the solids are liquids and can diffuse into the liquids, and the gases from the atmosphere diffuse and dissolve in water. These gases, especially oxygen, carbon dioxide, are essential for the survival of the aquatic survival of the aquatic trial of survival of the aquatic animals and plants. A living creature needs to breathe for the survival. The aquatic animals can breathe underwater due to the presence of dissolved oxygen in water. Thus, we may conclude that solids, liquids, and gases can be diffused into liquids. The rate of diffusion of liquids is higher than that of the solids. This is due to the fact that the liquid state particles move freely and have a greater space between each other as compared to the particles in the solid state. So, the last state which we are going to learn is gaseous state. Have you ever observed a balloon seller filling a large number of balloons from his cylinder of gas? What is that gas actually? And you can ask him that how many balloons are you able to fill with this gas? So I would like to express another activity on this. That is, take 300 milliliters of syringe and close their nozzles by the rubber stocks as shown in, as there is no figure, sorry for that, you can see in your term book it's mentioned. The page number is 31. Okay, sorry, the page number is 31 or 30, I don't know properly. So take 300 ml of syringe and close the nozzles by the rubber crocks as shown in the figure 1.4. Remove the pistons from the all syringes and leaving one syringe untouched with the filled water in the second and pieces of chalk in the third. Insert the pistons back into the syringes. You may apply some Vaseline onto the pistons and before entrusting them to or inserting them to syringes for their smooth movement. Now try to compress the content by pushing the pistons off in each syringe, right? And what do you observe? In each case the piston is easily pushed in, but what do you infer from our observations? We have observed that the gases are highly compressible as compared to the solid liquids. The liquefied petroleum gas cylinder, that is LPG, that we get in our homes for cooking, or the oxygen supplied in the hospital cylinders, is compressed gas. Compressed natural gas is also used as a fuel in these days for vehicles. It is also non-pollution, so you can also have a CNG. It's just if you can have a 500 kilometer journey if you have a CNG tank, and it is very cheap also, so you can use cheaply and you can travel more and you can save the nature. This chance you can't miss, right? So please keep the CNG tanks in your cars. So when we come to know what is being cooked in the kitchen without entering there by the smell that reaches our nostrils, our favorite dishes, how can you smell actually, right? The particles of the aroma of food mix with the particles of air and spread from the kitchen reaches and even farther away. So you did not understand, right? So I'll tell in the clear. So there will be some kinetic energy present in the particles of matter. What is this kinetic energy? So this kinetic energy is not the kinetic energy which is present in the physics. This kinetic energy is different from the kinetic energy of physics. In this kinetic energy is a thing which helps in which is a part which helps in moving of the materials or the matter. If the kinetic energy is more, the particles will have slow means the particles of matter will move but not as fast as this food reaches hot food reaches, but it's slow as if you see a cold cooked food, you have to see the go near and smell it. If you take example of a new dish or a now only prepared dish, it's very hot and you can reach at any room or on the road also you can at road also you can smell the dish. So in the same way, so when a heat increases, the kinetic energy increases. When the kinetic energy increases, the flow of particles increases. When the flow of particle increases, the particles will reach to your nose, right? So the smell of hot cooked food reaches in the seconds. Compare this with the rate of diffusion of solids and liquids. Due to the high speed of particles in the large space between them, gases show the property of diffusing very fast into other gases. In gaseous state, the particles move about randomly at a high speeds. Due to this random movement, the particles hit each other and also walls of the container, and the pressure exerted by the gas is because this force exerted by the gas particles per unit area on the walls of container. So at the last, we'll discuss something. So we'll discuss the properties of solids, liquid and gas. So if you take property shape, solid have definite shape but liquid doesn't have definite shape, and solids or gas also doesn't have definite shape. Solid have definite volume, liquid also have definite volume but gas doesn't have definite volume. And if you come to density, solids have high density and liquids have moderate density but gas are very low. Fluidity, not fluid, gas is not solid is not fluid. In this thing, our liquid is very familiar to some extent, right? And gas, but gas is the highest place, can flow quickly, very quickly. And if you come to compressibility, solid is incompressible actually, except the sponge. It is to some extent liquid. And gas highly compressible, you can even clap, that is also compressing the air only, right? With the clap, if you clap you will join your hands like with a very big pressure, so our because of that air only the see like. So what happens, when you clap, the compressed air will be moving in the waves which will listen see. So when I clap, the the waves, it will be moving in the waves. Sound is a wave structure, okay? So then intermolecular spaces, so solid have very tight spaces, there is no space in between the solids or negligible, and liquid have some spaces in between them, and gases have full space in between them. And lastly, intermolecular forces of attraction, so solids are strong, liquids are moderate, and gases are very weak. So by this we will end our video, so please don't forget to subscribe. I want some 100 to 500 subscribers, so please don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe, and for more videos, this is your Saket of your chemistry explainer. So thank you for watching our video and don't forget to subscribe. Jai Hind.